Hello, everyone. I'm back today. I just got back from watching The Marvels. Whew. Gonna have to take a second here. So there's no spoilers in this. Don't worry about any of that stuff. I'll do a spoiler thing later. Objective for a moment, okay? This is the greatest movie Marvel has ever made by far and away. I think everyone's wrong about this movie. This movie is perfect. This movie is Marvel in a nutshell, pretty much. It's fun. It's short. It's only 100 minutes. It's perfect. The characters work. The story, like the villain of this story, is not some overcomplicated good guy. No, no. The villain is what Marvel was really good at when they did villains, right? Like, look at someone like a Hela, right? The villain is someone who is interesting. They don't give you too much, and they kind of just do their thing. They have a good motivation, and that's it. That is the story. The characters work. They come together. This is a bait. Marvel got complicated. This is not complicated. This is a perfect movie. And you know, we'll talk. The endings was amazing, and I mean, I'm still kind of in shock about that stuff. But at the end of the day, Marvel made the perfect movie. The fight scenes are actually decent. I don't know. People get all complaining about the editing. I don't know. I think it was. I didn't. There was like. It was perfect. They balanced the three characters perfectly. It was funny. Like, it's just a good time at the movies, which is what Marvel was before all you losers who are mean to Marvel and say all these stupid things were given. Before people started listening to you. Like, why do you hate fun movies? I don't know. It's a fun movie. And if you and that is what Marvel is, and that is the kind of movie I like to watch, and that is the kind of movie that most people like to watch, which is why by obviously everyone who's being like, negative about the whatever stupid things they want to be negative about, they're wrong. And if this movie suffers because of those people, then oh Lord, we're gonna have some problems. So Brie Larson, I think she was. This was probably her best portrayal of Captain Marvel. I think she showed emotional range. I think and for plot reasons, I think it was lacking in the first movie. Endgame, there wasn't much time for her, and then obviously this movie, I think she finally got an emotional range. You got to see a lot of her as a person, her weaknesses, emotional things. Um, we got to see more of Monica. We got to see more of Kamala. I think Kamala probably had the best role in this movie. She just kind of fit right in. It didn't feel awkward. They introduced them all really well. Again, it didn't feel awkward or long, or there was no weird side thing. This was a movie that focused and knew what it wanted to do, and it did it. And it did it perfectly. This is a movie. This is a director. This is a cast. You just keep using. This is how you make successful movies. This is what Iron Man is. This is what Captain America is. This is what the first Avengers movie is. This is what those movies are. They know what they want to be. They have a plan. The reason Thor Ragnarok was so good is because everyone knew what it was going to be. Everyone knew what it wanted to be. There was a goal. There was an image, and then they just went with it. Thor Ragnarok, they said, we're going to have Thor. He's going to be fun. He's going to have these characters. This is the plot. We're going to go with it. There's no unnecessary cameos and dumb things. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. They knew what they wanted to do. There were some actual execution flaws with that, but for the most part, they did what they needed to do. They just stuck to their plot. They did their story. They had their characters shine, and that was it. The characters worked perfectly in Guardians of the Galaxy. The chemistry was perfect. Everything was perfect. Again, there were some villain issues in that movie, I think, which were non-existent in this movie. But you have these kind of Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man, right? It knew what it wanted to do. It was what it wanted to be, and it just kind of went with it. Doctor Strange, the first one, same thing, right? And this movie is that. This movie is the director had an idea. She knew what she wanted to do. She kind of put together the characters to do it, and it just worked. The chemistry was great. I thought the fight scenes were actually really well choreographed, especially because of some of the stuff Marvel's done recently, where it's kind of been a little bit wonky. Kamala didn't feel like it was weird that she was going from the show to the movie. Iman Vellani was, again, probably the best part, by far and away, the MVP of this movie. I don't think there was anyone even coming close to her in that. And again, it was fun, and it was just, you were just like, I was laughing the entire movie. Anyone who hates this movie it just doesn't understand movies. That's it. Okay, I don't want to hear any of the stupid, angry trolls on the internet complaining about whatever stupid things they want to complain about. There's a lot of people being lukewarm about this. You can have your own wrong opinions. That's fine. This is the perfect movie. And when I talk more in depth about spoilers, I'll kind of explain why, but and kind of give more detail. But look, at the end of the day, if you're thinking about watching this, go watch it. It is so much fun, and if you don't watch it, you will regret it, because this is Marvel at it. This is phase 1 peak Marvel. This is Thor Ragnarok. This is the Marvel formula working, right? We did an interview with Joe Quesada, who is kind of one of the architects right behind the MCU, and also the editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics. And I asked him, I gave him my theory about what the Marvel formula was, and I asked him what he kind of thought. He said he basically said, look, you've got to be true to the characters, you've got to do all this stuff, and you get a good movie, right? I've always equated it to like a sitcom, right? Sitcoms are like the perfect kind of television, right? Everyone loves them because you can just sit there, you can just watch them. They're funny. You can kind of do other stuff if you're watching them. This movie encapsulates all of that. It's focused. The problem with Endgame was it was unfocused. It was chaotic, right? Some Marvel movies have had that problem. Some Marvel movies, they try to take themselves too seriously, and then you're kind of like, okay, this is ridiculous. You're dressed up in a costume and you're taking yourself seriously. There's certain things which you just can't do. This movie was perfect. This movie didn't take itself too seriously. It also was not too much of a joke. I think, you look at Thor Love and Thunder, I think it kind of made itself too much of a joke, and it kind of didn't work, right? Obviously, Thor, the Dark World, because Thor is probably the perfect example for the whole spectrum of types of Marvel movies. But that one took itself too seriously, and it worked poorly. You just had people having fun. There was a camera there, and they did it. And that shows because the audience enjoys it, right? If the cast are just fun, and they're having fun, and they all look like they want to be there. They all look like they actually like each other. There's no weird, drawn-out, weird plot lines. There's no oh my God, who is she? How did she get there? When they introduced Kamala for the first time, it was just seamless. It was perfect. You don't even have to have watched the show to have understood why she was there. Again, go watch this movie. It was perfect. I don't think I can say anything more than that. I do have to say, I dig the circular camera fight scenes. But, yeah, other than that, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts, follow us on social media.